welcome back to the channel. Frank here. I'm back down on the boat for the last couple items in the electronics upgrade. Today I'm just going to do the new instrument panel. This is a Garmin GMI 20. It's a small display that goes on the dash. And it mounts in a circular cutout. It has only one connection that I'm going to use on here, and that's the N2K connection that provides power as well as all the data input. It's got a cover. It's going to replace the older GMI 10, which is right here, which has a smaller display, and this is monochrome. The new one is color. So the new one will match the new chart plotters in terms of, so this is silver and gray, this is all black. The new one is all black. It does have a trim panel which goes around it, so it's actually a larger display area. They give you an N2K cable, a gasket, an N2K connector. I won't need any of this because I currently already have an N2K cable to my current display. So just going to matter of pulling this one out and popping the new one in. See how that goes. Alright, so there are two connectors on the old one, which had the NMEA 0183 connections, and I had my sounder connected to it this way, and N2K. And the only one I need now for the new display is N2K. The NEMA 183 is no longer in use. I do need to see about removing that cable. Alright, so I'm going to do the configuration. Shallow water alarm, I'm going to say no. It's a power boat. Just going to select a speedometer here. This particular display is a speedometer. I'm going to say that I was mistaken. I expected this display to be larger than this one. It's talking about a full 4x4 inch display, and it isn't. So it's about the same size as the old one. Alright, so you can set up anything you want on the display. So I'll select look at pages, add page, remove page. I'm going to do a custom profile, preset surface pages, preset wind pages, engine fuel pages, custom page. Alright, select page layout. Alright, so I'm going to select a 3-pane layout. Alright, number 1, I want depth. Water, depth. Alright, number 2, I want distance to next waypoint. Here it is, distance to next waypoint. Select that. And then number 3, I want position. GPS, GPS speed, course over ground, position. Alright, position format. Let's do the format. I want degrees, minutes, decimal minutes, that's normal. Map datum, WGS 84, which is the GPS configuration, the worldwide datum for latitude and longitude. Almost everybody uses WGS 84. Be done. Alright, so there's my configuration. We'll select done. Add another page, no. Alright, so there it is. Alright. Turn the power off. Now that I know it's working, we can remove the old NEMA 183 cable. Alright, so that's the I've disconnected the old NEMA 183 cable. Got a little bit of a spacing problem here. I'm a little bit closer here than I am over here, and that has to do with the way I cut the holes for the two chart plotters. Constraints of the size of the dash. What I'd like to do is move this over. I mean, it's only like 1/8 of an inch. And I have space to do it. I just need to enlarge this hole, a little bit. That did it. Now I can center it. Now it's centered between the two. Now, I actually need more space over here because the hand grip for the cover sticks out more on that side than it does on this side. So with the cover's on, it's going to look like it's too close over here, but that's because of this hand grip there. All right, we'll drill a couple little holes. So one thing different about this compared to the previous version, this one gets power from the N2K network. The other one had a separate power switch, which I had right here. So the same for my new N2K sounder. So both of these switches now are basically redundant or surplus, not being used. So I can repurpose them for another application. I'm decided what I'll do. So the previous display had its own power supply, which came through this switch, so it was powered separately. This one uses the N2K network for power, so it doesn't rely on a separate power switch. So when my switch over here for the N2K network is here, and it basically energizes the whole N2K network. So it will turn this display on. Because these screws don't have points on them, I guess it requires a full depth pilot hole because they won't pull themselves into the starboard panel. Alright, so that's a much better match for these displays than the old one, so I'm happy about that. I think we're in good shape here. Another kind of cosmetic thing is that the old cover was a different color than the previous covers, dust covers, and you know, I wouldn't be surprised if Garmin did that on purpose so that when you replace something they don't match, so you got the, gives you the incentive to replace that one as well. You notice that it looks, and maybe from the camera angle there, so from, you can't, it looks closer here than here, and that's because of the finger grip, but I believe that it's pretty evenly spaced. I mean, it may not be perfect, but it's pretty close. So at least to the casual observer it looks centered. That wraps up today's little project, which is only taken me about a half an hour here, finished with this, installing this little instrument panel. Matches the other two new chart plotters. I still have 3 other things to install to complete the electronics upgrade: 2 closed circuit TV cameras, 1 in the engine room, 1 on the radar arch, and a new VHF radio. And this radio here, while it works fine, the cord's coming apart and you can't get a replacement cord for it. So that's kind of crummy of Garmin not to have any replacement cord, and there's really no way to make your own, so no easy way to make your own. So I've ordered a new radio. This one's 10 years old, so maybe it's time. The cover will match these, I'm sure, match these newer covers as well, so that'll bring everything up to date. I'll bring you back when I have the cameras and the radio to install, and we'll install them. They should be pretty quick. Alright, so I'm getting set up to go down the engine room and install the camera. So just looking some more. I've got in my box, I've got the stuff I need. I've got some tie wraps, got my package here of connectors. I think a couple of these will work. I'll throw an extra one in there. Alright, and got some tie wraps. Got the camera mount taken apart. The camera and its housing is off of this bracket, so I can screw the bracket to the bulkhead down there. It's nice that these little screws, which are actually security Torx, they have a pin in the middle of them. It's nice that they're captured by the bracket so you don't lose them. They do give you a little tool. There's a little inside here, this unscrews, and inside here is a little security Torx bit that you can use. Alright, got a light, got the lights on in the engine room. We'll go down there and hook this one up. 5 or 6 hours here on the boat, day before yesterday, and installing the 2 remote cameras, replacing the camera on the radar arch, installing a new wireless camera in the engine room. And unfortunately, all of that footage was corrupted. All of the files were corrupted. The first file I created, the first segment of video I created, worked fine. I dropped the camera, and anything after that didn't, is unreadable. So I lost all that footage. I don't know why. That video card, that SD card that I was using, the previous video clips on it work fine. I can view them. Anything prior to that time and any file after that time that I dropped the camera, they're not readable, and even a new file, a new video that I filmed back up at the house on that card won't work. But this is a different SD card and it seems to be working. At least I hope it'll work. It worked when I did a couple of test files on it. So I will just show you then what I did with the video cameras. The installation was nothing, you know, particularly spectacular, but may have been interesting. I'll climb up here. So this is the new camera. It replaced the old camera, which was on a pedestal, on a post, a 4-inch stainless steel post like this one. This is fiberglass above it, but the 4-inch stainless steel post to begin. So that's the new camera for the radar arch. And it's just a conventional analog video camera sold by Garmin. It's weatherproof. They get a lot. They think a lot of it. I have to say that. I don't know that it's worth. I think it was $300, which seems like a lot for a. I don't believe it's high definition. I think it's standard definition. So I will show you the new camera in the engine room. I was pretty lucky. I had a spare electrical circuit with a cable run already down here, so I used that. And this is the camera right here. So it's mounted on the aft bulkhead, and it's a wide angle camera, so it gives a pretty good view of the whole engine room. And I had a circuit run from that general area up to the helm, so I used that circuit. And I retained my existing engine room camera. We'll boot up the plotter, and I'll show you the video feeds. I reused a switch which I no longer needed. This used to be for the redundant GPS, but since I don't need that anymore, as I mentioned, the chart plotters each have a GPS, plus I have an N2K GPS as well. So there's no need for a fourth. Alright, so there's the rear view camera. And it should cycle through the turn the other chart plotter on, because one of the camera for the other engine room camera is connected to the other chart plotter. The original engine room camera is connected to the chart plotter. I'm expecting the wireless camera to come online here. Alright, so that's the old engine room camera. That's the rear view camera. That's the new engine room camera. Alright, so that, looking forward, you can see both engines, you can see the whole engine room. This is the original engine room camera. Rear view camera. New engine room camera. So they normally sit in this window here and cycle every 10 seconds through them. So that gives you situational awareness of what's going on the boat and around the boat. So that's very helpful. Okay, that is a wrap for episode 3 of the Marine Electronics upgrade. I don't have my VHF radio yet. It'll be some weeks, maybe a month from now. That's a pretty easy swap out. I don't know that I'll record that and post that up unless there's a hue and cry to see it. It's pretty straightforward. But I might. It might be just a short 10-15 minute video. So I hope you found some of this stuff interesting. If you're into boating and you're on boats and you use this stuff, then maybe it's very familiar. If you've not had experience operating a larger boat with electronics like this, maybe this was new and maybe you learned something. I appreciate everybody watching. If you got any questions about this stuff, or any observations, by all means put it in the comments. I read all the comments. If there's any questions, I try to answer them. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next one.